Welcome again. This is episode number 6 of Auburn All the Time as we officially move the calendar towards March and March Madness. What better time than to talk about Auburn basketball than another chance, opportunity to win another SEC championship. I want to start this show by introducing everyone to a friend of mine. I don't have a pet per se, but I got a friend of mine that I watch all the Auburn football games with. It's my man Albie, and I'm getting ready to officially retire him. He's been thrown at the TV a lot over the last couple of years, especially during the Auburn football game and some of Gus's play calling. But I'm officially going to retire him, put him up in the closet for good as I look forward to getting me a real life pet, a dog, maybe like a Siberian Husky or something like that. I ain't had a pet maybe 8 or 9 years now, so it's officially time to let my man go. He's seen his better days, especially during the Gus era. So it's time to put him up and just look forward to just bringing home a real life pet to our new home. So just say goodbye. With that being said, it's like Auburn, I would say the last month of the season, they kind of been hit or miss when it comes to just scoring the ball. I mean, they're not a great outside shooting team by any means, but they can do some things well. They get to the free throw line when they determine to drive the ball in, give it to Wiley, or let the guards penetrate towards the basket. Something they need to continue to do with, because they lost them 2 games at Georgia and at Missouri without Isaac Okoro. Now that he's back, and you've seen the difference he made against Ole Miss the other night. But you go looking back at there were 2 big wins at home, the whole serve at home against Tennessee and Ole Miss. And normally, typically, this team plays so good coming from behind. I don't know. It's like they when they get down, that's when they they turn it into pick it up in another gear or something. I don't even know how to explain it. Getting down by 18 at home and coming back beating Tennessee. I mean, that's something to feel good about. But going on the road today against Kentucky, a place they haven't won just twice in the last 50 years, you can't afford to do that. They gotta get off to a better start. But able to hold serve at home and getting that win against Ole Miss, a 9-point win against Ole Miss, a team that historically Auburn struggled with over the last couple of years, dating back to when Andy Kennedy was the coach there, and now the other Kermit Davis. Davis has always had a good game plan against Coach Pearl, especially the way they change defenses and stuff and the way they attack the basket. A lot of times their guards drive downhill. Then when you collapse in on the guards against them, they always kick it out. And they've always had good 3-point shooters the last couple of years. But in order to just move forward and looking forward to the Kentucky game, I mean, the thing about Auburn, I mean, the chances of them winning in Kentucky is not great by any means, but I think they got a shot. I would say overall, I would give them about maybe 35% chance of actually going there and winning. But they're in a position to win another SEC title. That means I guess, you look at the fact that they won the SEC tournament last year. Then, last 2 years ago, they shared the conference title with Tennessee. They've won it. They've been in a conversation to win it the last 3 or 4 years under Coach Pearl. But the thing right now, with Kentucky having a game lead over Auburn, this game is so crucial for Auburn to even have a chance of even winning the title or sharing the title with. I think it'll come down between Auburn and Kentucky, who wins the SEC this year. But the thing we got to keep an eye on also, it looks like Florida's starting to pick up their pace a little bit too. They're playing a lot better, especially at home, and they're only trail Auburn by a game. And the thing about that, they don't play Florida again, and Florida has the head-to-head against Auburn. So that's something to keep an eye on during these last 3 games with Auburn having to play Kentucky at home against Texas A&M, which Texas A&M, I think they got 8 conference wins this year, even though they only got like 13 overall wins. That'll be a tough game. Then they close out next Saturday at Tennessee. So Auburn has to be careful, no matter what happens this game, that they hold serve them last 2 games, because if not, it's a possibility that Florida could actually jump Auburn in the standings. And I think worst case scenario, Auburn could finish 3rd in the league, which is good because you can at least get a double bye in the SEC tournament. But, I mean, the game today is so crucial. I would say, if you look at the point spread, I think Kentucky is like a 6.5, 7-point favorite, which is fair considering you get, 4 or 5 points for just being at home. So, hopefully, Auburn will show up and not get behind by so many double digits so early in this game, because you get behind against Kentucky, they just going to continue to do what they do. They're not a great outside shooting team for like they got guys that can hit threes, but they attack the basket and they play good defense. I think they're like 30. They hold their opponents like 38% from the field, which is an unbelievable number this day and time with the way teams drive and shoot a lot of threes and stuff. So they're definitely a good defensive team. But this is going to be a half court game. Austin Wiley and the Nick Richards matchup will be the one to watch, and Javon McCormick versus Ashton Hagans will be another one to keep a close eye on. I give Kentucky the edge just due to the fact that they're at home. You have to be honest with yourself, especially the way Auburn's played down on the road here late. I would say if I had to make a prediction, Auburn all the time prediction, I would say Kentucky 72, Auburn 69. I think it's going to go down to the wire. Can they hit free throws on the road, which they've done a better job of hitting free throws, but I mean, in that environment with 21,000 fans screaming down your throat on the road, I mean, it'll be tough. But Auburn, they definitely can win this game. But even if they don't, it's not the end of the world, because if you look at last year, even the fact that they won the SEC tournament, which, Auburn won the SEC tournament and they still was a 5 seed. So it's not even about the SEC overall. It's about getting Isaac Okoro healthy, moving forward, and just working on getting the best seed possible. Hopefully this year they can at least get, I would say right now they're a 4 seed, but if they did actually win these last 3 regular season games, I think they can get up to a 3 seed. So hopefully that's all about seeding for me. The SEC tournament coming up was, of course, Nashville again, and it's like the Kentucky Invitational pretty much. But I mean, it's nice to win the SEC tournament, but it's not the end-all be-all. It's all about getting healthy and get ready for the real tournament that's coming up. And it's like, even like I said last year, when they were winning the SEC tournament, it really didn't help them at all as far as seeding goes. It's all about closing off the regular season strong, getting everybody healthy, getting Isaac's hamstring up to maybe 90-95%, and please get Jalen Williams more involved. I mean, I think he's more like a stretch forward, the left-handed freshman out of Georgia. And the more he plays, it seems like the team just gravitates towards him. They move the ball so much better with him in the game. So he's a facilitator. He's not a great three-point shooter or even outside shooter by any means, but he's crafty. He's a typical crafty left-hander that can score around the basket, and he rebounds and he can pass the ball. So hopefully today, like I said, you have to give Kentucky the edge either way with them playing at home, but I think Auburn can win. Will they win? That's a good question. But like I said, I think it'd be like a one-possession game with a minute to go, and whoever makes the plays down the stretch can win. But like I said, the main thing is just trying to finish with in the top half of the SEC when you get a double bye. I don't think, no way, unless they just completely collapse, they won't finish no worse than second or third. Like I said, just keep an eye on that Florida game, because the Florida-Kentucky game coming up, I think, next weekend, because if Auburn loses Kentucky and if they don't hold serve at home against A&M and beat Tennessee next Saturday, I can see Florida actually jumping Auburn in the rankings in the SEC. So hopefully, like I said, as long as they win at home against Texas A&M, which Texas A&M, they're a good defensive half-court team and a good rebounding team, Auburn should be fine. But with that win against Texas A&M at home, I guess it's Tuesday or Wednesday, when A&M comes down, if they actually beat A&M, they go undefeated at home. And I don't know if that's ever been done before at Auburn, but that's a thing that is very hard to come by, especially with the way college basketball is being played this year. So, and Auburn's having to win several games in overtime and just hold serve at home. It'll be an unbelievable accomplishment. So hopefully, just see what happens against Kentucky today, and just move forward and get healthy is the main thing, and get a fixed focus, get their mind right going into March, because this team has a chance to make another run. Maybe not as deep as last year, but with Austin Wiley coming into his own, and it looks like Samir Dowdy is coming out of his he was in a little mid-season slump there, but he's starting to attack the basket more, and don't rely on so many three-pointers early, especially on the road when they're not falling. Attack the basket, because like I said, I think Auburn leads the conference in free throw shooting attempts, not percentage, but attempts. The more you get to the line, the better chance you have to make them. So hopefully they'll just get ready for this last 3-game stretch and see what happens in the SEC race and get ready for the SEC tournament in Nashville and seeing where they will seed us again in March Madness. Hopefully it won't be as far as California this time, but it's all about seeding right now. It's that time of the year where it's all about jockeying for position for seeding. That's the most important thing, getting healthy, heading towards the NCAA tournament. So with that being said, until I see you again, War Eagle, and I'll see you.